None of this should be even possible. How is this even happening? It makes no sense. This is insane. Okay. So, a lot of people, I just want to get this out of the way, a lot of people have asked, why XOXO? Why the name XOXO? And the answer that I usually give to people, and some of you heard this last night as we were out drinking, is that this thing, whatever this thing is about love. It's about everyone using technology to make a living doing what they love. And that is totally true. That is what this thing is about. But last night, talking to all you people, I started realizing something interesting about the name. It is a filter. There's huge parts of the internet that are devoted to snark and cynicism and people who love tearing apart other people's work, but that is not what we are into. We love people who make things and who are excited and passionate about something, anything, and who love talking about it. And we love people who love people that make things. It's so hard to make something new. And to put it out into the world, it takes a unique kind of bravery to do that. Just knowing that that other group is out there waiting to poke at you and tear it apart. And it is so much easier to just sit back and criticize something that someone else is doing than doing that. So when we put something out in the world called XOXO, we think that it becomes a filter for a particular kind of person. It's the kind of person who's willing to put their time and their energy and their money into something completely new and unknown that is named after hugs and kisses. Okay, so that, to me, is not a dark and cynical person. It's someone who's hopeful and excited about things and trusting. And the other thing is that from the moment that we launched this Kickstarter project, it felt like the entire internet was giving us a big hug. The outpouring of support and trust that you have handed us is it doesn't feel like anything else I've ever experienced. To have someone else believe in your idea so much that they're willing to hand you the money to make it happen before you do it. Because XOXO would not exist without you guys. Every one of you sitting here is here because you and everyone around you wanted to be here sitting in these chairs right now. It is like a consensual hallucination. All of you could sort of picture what Andy and I were describing in that video, and then you manifested it into reality. You took a figment of our imagination, and you made it real. That's insane. And we didn't have to ask anyone's permission. No middlemen, nobody to turn us down for a loan, nobody to tell us no. And we maintained complete 100% creative and financial control at all times. Sorry. That is going to be a theme that I think you're going to hear a lot of over the next couple days, because I think we think this is a very powerful idea. Now, if there's one thing that we maybe regret about XOXO, it is using the word disruption. Because it has been completely co-opted by the social media gurus and the brand marketers and the rockstar ninja entrepreneurs, and they're all the guys pitching their startups at TechCrunch Disrupt on how to disrupt the pet food industry or whatever it is that they're doing. But we called it creative disruption because it is a convenient way to describe what we are talking about here. But the real word that we're talking about is disintermediation. Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but it's a fancy word for cutting out the middleman. Because we are in a very weird time right now, where all of the traditional middlemen that were necessary to expand your reach and get your work into the world aren't necessary anymore. In the tech world, we've been comfortable with this for a long time. We could publish everything ourselves. We didn't need, we had our web servers. We could do that on our own. But in the art world, that is a bit more challenging. For example, if you were in an indie band that was getting popular, and if you were incredibly lucky, this is a best case scenario, you would sign to a label. And because they provided a whole bunch of services that you couldn't do yourself, this was a good thing. They negotiated distribution deals with stores. They handled production for you. They printed your albums. They managed your tour. They arranged all your marketing, and a bunch of other useful stuff that most people didn't, really couldn't do on their own. They also took virtually all profit from your work. They left you with a small advance to make your album if you were lucky, and even smaller royalties if you're lucky. They pushed their creative control on you to make you more marketable, or what they thought was more marketable. And most importantly, they very often took ownership over your own work. They reserved the right to profit on it for a very, very long time off of your effort. And this, in the music industry, is what is known as selling out. But that totally made sense. For a good chunk of time, you were compromising your integrity and what you really wanted, and you were giving up creative and financial control. But you did it because you wanted your music to be heard, you wanted to be loved, and you wanted ultimately to make a living doing what you love. So things have changed. Everything that we're talking about here has been possible for a very, very long time, and you would see artists like Jonathan Coulton build his audience online, sell his music directly to fans, poll his fans to see where he should tour, do all the production himself. But Jonathan Coulton is weird. Okay? He is not a normal musician. He is an outlier. Before he was a musician, he was a web developer. Okay? He knew all this stuff already. He knew what worked well on the web, how to build his own site, how to blog before a lot of people were blogging, how to build his own site and store, and his audience was geeky enough to understand, the value of DRM-free music and how to play Ogg Vorbis files, and this is just not. It was not a normal audience. But in the last, even 3 years, we have seen a Cambrian explosion of creativity because of new platforms making it easy for non-nerds to get their work out into the world across every genre of art. In music, film, publishing, video games, visual art, handmade art, even hardware, we have new services that are meant to be used by individual artists working on their own, making stuff and getting it directly to fans. The funding of projects, the production of those projects, distribution, and marketing. All that work was previously done by the record labels, publishers, film studios, video game publishers, and now can be done entirely by you. And because of that, there has never been a better time to try something insane and new and to make something that you love and maybe make some money doing it. So everything about this festival is insane. It should not exist. It could not have existed 5 years ago. And now you are all here watching me talk about it. So Andy McMillan and I are deeply grateful to every one of you for believing in this project, for backing the project, and for being here. Thank you so much, and we hope you have an amazing time over the next 3 days. Welcome to Portland, and welcome to XOXO.